Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still...
The first part of the map that we're going to look at is a broad overview of Merida. Now you'll see the circle around the city, the actual outline around the city. This is the city limits of Merida. Anything outside of the city limits, this dotted peripheral of this area, is where you begin to have challenges with internet service, Rappi, DD deliveries, things of this sort. So take time and look at this map. Also, if you look to the left, you will see how far the beach is. So the beach is just right here. My left, it would be both of our lefts. Yes, so it is right there to the left. A lot of people live out that way. I didn't zoom into the cities on that particular part because I just want us to focus on this particular part of Merida. So you see Francisco de Montejo, Issa, which starts with a D over to the left, Cauquel. You can now see where Cauquel is. And all of this is relative to central in distance. Now we're going to move on to a more condensed picture of Merida on the map, where you can now see the actual colonials. The places that are highlighted in blue are places that I've actually visited. So that helps a lot because it can show you where the airport is down here to your lower left, compared to Central, which is directly in the middle of your screen. Central meaning central, which is downtown in most cities. Home Depot, we only have a few in the city. One is close to Francisco de Montejo, which is a very popular area with expats. So is Harbor Mall. Issa, you see a little closer, Cauquel. And then to the right of, or to the east of Merida, you see the Bodega Herrera, that's in Los Hitos, Microplaza, and Altabrisa. Cholul, if you want to know what Cholul is, it is east. It is northeast compared to Cauquel, which is northwest. So pause this, take a look at it. You'll begin to have a familiarity with exactly what Merida look like. You know, we often say it's a big little city, and it really is, because it has so many colonials and little areas that are in dense population and rural. Cauquel, if you look all the way to the right at the top of your screen, is also east, northeast, very northeast. I live east as well. I used to live west over in the close to the Francisco de Montejo area and Grand Plaza, but I have moved to the opposite side of town, which is much quieter. It's more dense over, the closer you get to Central, the more dense the population becomes, and busy and loud. In my previous videos, I mentioned that Merida is loud, and it is in some places. But as you notice, the dotted lines around the city, again, that is the city limits. Anything outside of that is where you want to definitely question your landlord, or if you're buying property, to make sure that you're able to access services that are available inside of this city limit automatically. Also on the outskirts of the city is where the rent gets a little better, a lot better in some cases. The further out you go, if you look down to the right, which would be southeast at Canacine, that's where I mentioned that rent out there could be as low as $100 US a month. Look at it's on the outside of the perimeter. Although they do have some goods and services, however, they still have their own stores and everything they need in that colonial. They do not need to come outside to go anywhere. I also want to bring your attention to the bottom right screen where the arrow is in the little man. When you go on Google Maps, you can get that little man and drag him into Merida and look at things in street view. Okay? So do this. When you're laying in the bed or sitting at your computer doing nothing or scrolling, take a minute and go down here to the right and drag that little man, and the screen will highlight all the areas that you can see at ground level. Okay, so, and you can also walk. You can use your mouse to click and move forward through some of these areas and get an idea of what it looks like. And I will tell you, we do have cameras on most corners. I will say that Merida is very much more high-tech than people think, and you will see when you get here. So this is just a short overview of the map of Merida. I encourage you to go onto your Google Maps, pull it up, it'll come up just like this, and drag the little man down there on the right and go to some of these colonials to see how it looks. And you can just scroll yourself from your bed without having to get up and be in the heat and see how it looks.